Hey everybody, Hoosier Jedi here with another review for you. This time I'm talking episode 7 of season 6 of Arrow, Thanksgiving. And while I thought that the action in this episode was really good, and there were definitely some nice character moments, I was really kind of disappointed by the overall plot, what's going on here. So let's just kind of get right into it. First thing that kind of bothered me is that they basically seem to have no real characterization for Black Siren beyond she likes to kill people. And there's that bit where she uses her canary cry to bust open this incredibly, volatile thing. And James is like, that could have gone horribly wrong, right? And she just says, but it didn't. And the guys that are with her are just like stand there and have no reaction to the fact that if they'd been a little less lucky, they all would have been blown all to hell. Nobody says like, "Whoa, lady, what the hell? You almost killed us." I mean, granted, that's probably not a very wise thing to say to Black Siren, but still, if somebody does something incredibly stupid and dangerous that could get you and everybody else in the room killed, you're not gonna even blink. And then there's the whole thing, James's thing of like, yeah, I did all of this just so that I could talk to you. Like, really? You're not smart enough that you couldn't have found some other way to communicate with the Green Arrow? I mean, I guess he wanted to do it face to face. And also, Oliver shoots one arrow at the guy and then it's deflected by a T-sphere and then he just gives up? Really? I mean, you know that he has this technology. Why haven't you and Curtis come up with some way to deal with that? And then there's the whole basic, how in the world does James ultimately get away with this? So there's this footage of the vigilantes beating up cops, but they're not actual cops. They were goons working for James. So why shouldn't somebody have like interviewed these pseudo people? Why aren't these cops being interviewed on TV? And that's of course because they're James's goons. But why doesn't anybody say this? Like, oh yeah, we wanted to talk to one of these officers who was assaulted by the vigilantes, but oh, it turns out that no one can find this person or any of the other police officers we saw being assaulted by the vigilantes, and the Star City PD has no records of who these officers are. I mean, why isn't Dinah out there saying, yeah, it turns out these were fake cops. We have no record of who these people were. I mean, this is just mind-bogglingly stupid. And you can't even accuse the characters of not thinking of this because that makes no sense. This is just really, really stupid and lazy writing. I mean, really, this makes no logical sense whatsoever. I mean, granted, maybe that comes out in the wash and all of this is just, a heat of the moment reaction to the vote by the voters. But again, you would think that, okay, none of those guys were real cops. We need to get that information out there. And oh yeah, what about this fake bomb that's going to be found by somebody in that stadium? I mean, there are just so many plot holes in this. I mean, this is just embarrassing that the writers tried to pull something this illogical. I mean, it's been a long time since Arrow threw something this stupid at us. And I am genuinely really upset here. But that said, there is a lot of good emotional stuff going on here. Dinah comes clean about Vigilante being her ex-boyfriend at Quentin, who you would think would be a little bit more like, whoa, we need to tell the others this right away. But he's just like, yeah, I had the chance to kill Black Siren, but I didn't. Well, okay, great bonding moment, but hey, now two people know who Vigilante actually is. Maybe you can use that information to stop him. Let's see, what else? Nothing really particular to say about Renee, just sort of him remarking like that he has a wide range of musical tastes. That was nicely done, and he did a good job at the stadium. I like how he dealt with the whole fire alarm situation. That was good. Felicity and Curtis bumping heads was also nicely done. I mean, they both had legitimate grievances there. And and by the end of it, though, they had come around, and that was also nicely done. The whole situation between Oliver and Diggle, that was also really well done. I mean, a lot of people pointed out that, yeah, Oliver was being kind of selfish and asking John to be the Green Arrow, even though John himself has a family to take care of. That said, though, at the end of the day, John Jr. does still have his mother, so while it would be tragic if something that would happen to John, their son would not be alone. William doesn't have anybody except Oliver. So I kind of understand a little bit more where Oliver's coming from on this one. So I don't really think it was selfish of him to ask John, but who else was he going to ask, really? And Oliver did ask John. John could have said no. So John made a choice. And that was a choice he made. I mean, all this other stuff. I mean, how is this really that different than him going out there and being Spartan? I mean, he's going around there doing vigilante stuff under one superhero identity, but somehow it's much worse if he changes that identity and fights with a different weapon, especially after he gets a version of the weapon that's, workable for him and his particular set of skills. So I don't really understand how him saying, okay, stop with the Spartan thing and become Green Arrow. I mean, how different is this really? Man, my last haircut did not go well, man. I don't know if I want to go back to that place next time. Let's see. What else? It was nice to see Oliver suit up again as Green Arrow and go out there. I was disappointed that he chose to lie to William about it. I really wish he had just said, look, son, I'm sorry, I kind of had to break my promise to you, but I believed that there were the lives of 35,000 people at stake. If Oliver really respects William as an intelligent kid, he needs to level with him on that one. And I mean, as we all know, when anybody keeps secrets from anybody else on Arrow, this all comes out at the worst possible way at the worst possible time, because that's how drama works. Nice to see Thea wake up again. I mean, it is a Thanksgiving episode, and of course you want family around for Thanksgiving. And yeah, it's getting to see a little bit of her and William's interaction. Auntie Thea and all of that. That was nicely done. I did enjoy that. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, the whole Agent Watson situation. I know I really want to know exactly what evidence she has on Oliver. Because, I mean, the FBI arresting this guy in front of the entire city, including his son, unless they have something that is just like absolutely bulletproof, yeah, the FBI is going to be in some hot water, and Oliver threatening to sue her for malicious prosecution, yeah, I can totally believe that. I mean, he probably would have every right in the world. Now, him being prosecuted by a DA who seems to genuinely be his friend, that doesn't quite seem very reasonable to me. Then again, him being the mayor, it's pretty unlikely that he wouldn't be at least familiar with pretty much any attorney of any real rank in the city government. So, yeah, I don't know exactly how this would work in real life. I keep thinking of places like, Detroit, where a couple of years back the mayor was indeed arrested on corruption charges, which is actually, I'm pretty sure, not the first time that's happened in Detroit. Detroit is a troubled city. But yeah, that does seem a little odd. And yeah, I really want to know what Watson thinks she has on Oliver, because this is going to have to be some seriously golden stuff. Otherwise, yeah. And I think that covers everything that I had to say about this episode, guys, so I'm going to call it here. As always, please comment, rate, and subscribe. And of course, follow me on Twitter at Hoosier Jedi. Please also join me on Tumblr at Jedi Reviewer. Until next time, take care and have a good one.